Yeah, the record has started. Yeah. So let's try and put in more effort. The projects that we are working on will soon. Well, I'm going to introduce us, like I said, to polygonal modeling today, and then you understand how you can make the models. Usually, like I said, when it comes to character modeling, the hardest part of the character is the face. Then in the face, the hardest parts are the nose and the ears. Every other part is easy. Because the face usually has the most. Face has more, a lot of detail. And if you are going to animate a character that will be talking, it's going to be very, very tricky. But one thing you should know, or put in mind, don't let anyone confuse you that there's a way to model fast. They don't model fast. Modeling is not a fast process. It's a slow process because detailing is important. The other slow process is rigging because it has to be detailed as well. Okay. So let's yesterday we covered for the NURBS, right? We covered the revolve, the loft, the extrude. I was saying the other ones are not so popular, but I will teach it on the data days, especially this bi-rail. It requires a lot of focus, but yeah, then I'll show up later. Let me just jump into the polygon modeling now. So poly modeling, this is the actual basic one that is used 90% of the time to create sturdy um, objects. Sturdy objects meaning as in hard surfaced objects. The NURBS are used for organic objects, objects that are flexible or rubbery, kind of. This is used for hard boiled objects. We started using it in 3ds Max, but like I said, it's always easier here. So if I want to create, for example, a cup using this, okay, there's something I wanted to point out, sorry. Let me switch back to NURBS. That bottle that I made with this guy, you can also, apart from using profile, you can use loft to make that bottle by creating um let me just quickly touch it a little bit. I'll just show it and then I won't talk about it. Mm, okay, let me just use this Coke bottle. Okay, so if I was to use loft to do this guy, I can create circles, and put them in different points of the design where, let me scale the circle out. Yeah, and let me reduce the opacity of this guy. Okay, so and this one. So I'll just create the way the loft works, since it requires multiple shapes. Oh, delete all this and start over again. I bring this down, then I'm scaling it uniformly. Bring down next one. So I'm basically just mapping out the points of the bottle where there are curves occurring. Da, 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 da. Not as quick as drawing the profile, but it's also an option. Yeah, did you say password? Did you say password? Okay. It's not. School Wi-Fi is not schooling. So, typically what I'm just doing is I'm scaling it uniformly on certain parts of the bottle. So I'll just do a rough thing here. I'll just add maybe two or three more, and I want to show you that yeah, you can actually use um, loft to create the same design. Are you the Hulk? Are you the Hulk? The Hulk, the one I know that makes that sound. Hulk smash! Sometimes I used to wish the Hulk would just, anytime someone gets me angry, I could just summon the Hulk and tell him smash. That would be very nice. As in, like, you summon Bruce Banner the Hulk, or you have the Hulk? No, not me. I'll summon him. No, I won't want to change to him. No, no, no. All right. So let me turn this girl. Um, let me hide him. Okay. So if you look at this, you can see that I actually have the sort of shape on the bottom. Yeah. So since I am moving along the pattern, I want to start, just remember, following the direction. So I have to go yeah, from bottom to top. So and then you create a lock. So you can actually still create your bottle with your lock objects. So it will still give you the bottle. You ask question. Why? I told you, I already said that this is used to not to build a studied object, but either a organic object or an object that has a continuous surface. A human being doesn't have a continuous. There's nothing continuous about your eye. It's just two eyes you have. Your surface. So then this part of the nerves now, this guy, this plane, sorry, this planar, one is used to cover spaces like this, like how we had on that cylinder. If this was polygons, we will just select this and extrude and push in. Yeah, but this is a NURBS, so we will not select and extrude anything. So we just click on these guys. And since NURBs don't have edges, they have isoparms. So isoparms are these guys. So you click that guy like that. And if it's on the same axis, you can add a planar to it to seal off that place there. So that's so, but remember that it is, if you move this guy, that's when it should move together. But if you move the planar itself to move away from the bottom, whatever subject or object was selected, the planar will be used to fill it. So I just wanted to point that if you can also use lofting to create what your revolve can do if you create enough shapes. Just like to take time to start creating all those plenty uh curves around. Yes, yeah, concept. Right. Okay, so back. Remember to get your windows back to how it's supposed to be. You can press the home key on your keyboard and it will come back to how it was designed. Home. Mm. If you shift your zoom out, shift your stuff to somewhere else, you want to bring it back to the way it was when Maya opened, just your home key. Home, it should be on top of your, where your numpad is. You have this is your number pad. Okay.
This one's 7 home.
Yes, so you need to press maybe it's, you need to use a smaller number so it will function like that.
It's telling on all mics.
Yeah, do it again.
Oh, okay. Add
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay, so polymodeling and right facing of shapes. It's from here be called box modeling. And like I said in the modeling process, never skip the box process. That's the boxing, creating that rough um, venue of your object. Don't ever skip it. It's not going to help you very well. So we've talked about the shapes when we're talking about NURBS, as in when you create a sphere like this or a um, cube or cylinder. It just depends the way polygons work. The more lines I have or subdivisions I have, the better at smoothing out the object I will get. The less the subdivisions, the more rigid the object gets. But this will apply, you will see smoothness when it comes to adding bevels or edges on a shape. But if it's on a shape like a cube, for instance, so adding subdivisions on the faces will not make it smoother. It will just give it plenty lines. Okay. So where the subdivisions will make the object rounder is if they are added at edges. So when you add curves to the edges and you want to make the edges bend. So for instance, if on this cube I select an edge, like right click and go to edge mode and select this edge, probably let me turn on the modeling toolkit so that we'll see the basic thing I want to use. If I add a bevel, the bevel will create this kind of a chamfer on the edge of that thing. I'm splitting the two edges to create a chamfer base. Now this chamfer base is straight, so it's flat. It's actually a chamfer now. So if you want to make it larger or smaller, that is fraction here. So increasing the fraction level makes it more or less. Now, segments. Back to what I was talking about, the segments, the subdivisions. The more the segments, the rounder the chamfer gets. The less the segments, the harder it gets. So that's why I was saying that subdivisions make an object rounder, but not when it has to do with the faces, when it has to do with the edges. So more subdivisions on the edges makes rounder edges or rounder corners. Then depth has to do with whether it is convex or concave. So this is concave, this is convex. Concave means the curve goes on the inside, convex it goes on the outside. Okay. So if I was to create um let me not jump to that one, but let me just keep going these guys. First, I'll come back to that. So that is it with objects. If this cube is going to be doing a whole lot of things, maybe I'm going to make a box crate out of it, or I'm going to make a car out of it, or I'm going to make whatever object I'm going to make out of this, it pays to figure out or look at the reference of that object I want to make and determine how many subdivisions I should create. So like in 3ds Max, we made a table out of a box, right? Good. So same thing. I want to make a table out of a box. Uh, what's the typical size of the, or how the typical look of a table? Definitely. So that means I may need to scale down on this or in something like this, right? To give me that table effect. But then you now think, uh, my table will need legs. So unless I'm going to create legs from a different object, if I'm going to bring out the legs from this particular box now, how many subdivisions do I need to be able to create those legs from this box? If I'm going to have a drawer section here, somewhere like here, just like this is my table now, I want to bring out a drawer section here. That means I may need to create subdivisions so that I can extrude that section downward. So in modeling, planning is of your boxes or of your boxes or your base is more important than the skill of the actual modeling. Because if you can't plan that, by the time you go into the modeling, you find out that you'll be doing too many corrections in the process. So it's very evident that you must plan. That one, nobody can overemphasize it. And if you don't pay attention to it, the only thing you keep getting is heartbreak. Because yeah, no one can help you. It's only you and yourself. And angels won't come and help you at that point. So you need to be very careful, very attentive when you are creating models. It's for your own good, especially if your models are going to be animated. Like that car that I did, I'm going to make a car, but you will need to be very, very attentive to what you're doing. Otherwise, the way your car will come out, to come out like paper car, those cars they used to make with paper. So if you want to make everything, you have to think ahead. So planning is very important to your modeling. If you need to write down the things your model needs, write it down before your model. So let's say I want to create this table now I'm sitting on. After the top side, I note there is an indent in the center here, but I have two flat legs and I have a drawer section here. So that means I need to create subdivisions across the depth and the width. I'm not going to do any on the height. There's no subdivisions here. Everything will come out from this guy. So I want to have some subdivs, and for my depth for the legs here, I want to have, okay, yeah, the legs and the drawer. I want to have one, I want to have two, to have three. So I want to have subdivision depths. I want to have three lines. Then I want to have two lines across the width as well so that I can cut evenly for this side. Any other thing I need to do, I can now use other techniques to create them. So let me show you why I said I liked Maya in this scenario. If I go to edge mode, in 3ds Max, when we had to move these lines, how do we do it? Sure, we did it one by one, okay? We selected this line, then move this one first, then come here, move that one. And it was moving kind of weird because you have to now use your village people to know when you are correct. So here I can do this. I can select these two edges. Let me go to my top view. And I can use my scale tool and pull them apart. So I don't have to do one first and do the second one. The scale tool will uniformly shift them apart for me. So that's one good thing. I can do that for these ones as well. Hold shift, select this, and pull them apart to get the same width I am looking for. Now I can move this and check from this view where I want it to be. So let's say I want it to be here. So I bring this here for the drawer section. Now I have the base that I want to bring out this design from. Okay, so very easily. So that's why I'm talking about the planning. I think I'll make this guy a little bit more. I think I'll make him a little bit more closer. Let me bring it closer like this. Let me bring it closer. Shift this one in. Okay, so now I have this base. So to get the legs out, I can now select faces, select this face, select this face, and I will do a extrude. Now the extrude tool in Maya works in multiple ways. One tool working in multiple ways. In 3ds Max, I had an insert tool and something else, but this one I can use one extrude tool and do multiple things. So when you click on the extrude tool, it brings out this gizmo here and these icons that we are seeing, these numbers or this dialog box here. So in the gizmo, I have an arrow, I have a cube, and I have a circle. Based on our transformation tools, arrow represents translation movement, cube represents scale, then the ring represents rotation. So if I want to create an inset or an offset, I will click on the right facing point of my polygon, which is going to be the z-axis. The right facing point of a polygon will be its z-axis. I'll click on the cube once, and then it switches to scale mode. I can now scale these guys like this, just to get that thin part where I want to bring out these legs from. Then I'll click on extrude again, and this time I just pull down on the arrow to bring out the legs. Okay. Just that. So I now have the legs of the table. Then I W out, or I come in here because I want to create this part of the drawer. I can select this point and extrude, again, bring them out like this. So now I have this section. Then to create the drawer parts, the drawer parts, I can select this ones, then extrude, but this time I'll create that same offset first, generally, to make an offset inward this way. Extrude again, and I can either create a hole with it or bring it out to create like a cupboard section. But I might want to do something where this whole section is detachable. So I can push this in and make another object that will be extracted from this. So either way, any of the options. Let me just push it in for now so that I can have a depression, small depression. Let me just create a hole. Create a hole. Okay. Right. So practically or technically, I think I can do this, can extrude in and bring out a like a drawer section here, something different for that drawer section. Select this to do my extrude, create an insert, and push this in so that this whole object can act as a drawer and make it detachable. So I could just do something like this so we can see that, oh, okay, this is a drawer sort of stuff. So 90% of the table is already designed like this. So this is why, like I said, I like using is many of the tools are just direct. I don't need to do a lot of clicking somewhere to find where my tools are. They are just around the corner. So you can create this very simply, very easily. So if for any reason you now want to break apart something, uh, like a, maybe I want to break apart these guys, I'm going to wireframe mode. So, like this. Is that looking very slow? Yeah. Sorry. What did you want it to go to? For? So there's this funny option within the tools that can make me this very funny option within the tools that can make me have to break apart this guys. So I could under my edit mesh, I could create an extract for this that will bring them out as singular objects, faces together on. So we create this, right? And W. Okay. So that this guy is a, as you can see, I can bring this one as a drawer that can go in and out. And this space. Let me delete this space. Okay. So now this drawer part is now detachable on its own. Okay. B. Jason. So and make that one so that it's animatable. The other way I could have done this is made another cube and just fit it inside there. Right. So typically polygon modeling is just about messing around with shapes. But for manipulation of objects like a human model, a car model, but models that have very structured design, I am playing around with it requires you to use things like the vertices and the edges primarily. We don't adjust models from the base section. We adjust it from the vertices. Let me introduce you to a few tools and then we will try and create something very small. Let me look for a reference. You guys will make a pick. We all have these files, so I think we don't. I'll copy it for you now. So I'm going to go quick. You pick a choice of something simple to work with, something that we want to model right now to create it. Let me start from here. So let me move. So this one needs a little bit more detailing. So there's a cow. Yes, we'll model this girl in one of the classes. Oh, all right. I want you to observe the way you see how many loops this girl has for her face. Now, observe that the loops are continuous until a certain point. Then on the eyes, it gets continuous like a mask. Then the nose has its own loop. The ear has its own loop because you construct them separately or differently from the continuous loop. You create a different kind of looping for this guy and these guys. They are very, very tricky, but we can work on something. Should we make this guy? Or should we make, where's that girl? I want to put something simple. One, yeah, quite a funny bunch, aren't you? Four, just four things, or five. So between this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, which of these should we make today? Which of them should we make today? Yeah, everybody. Pick one, pick one, pick one. This is a simple class for simple modeling. So, which one? The dog. Okay, one vote for the dog. Please, no, no, everybody should not pick one because then we won't have a vote. We have five people. You pick one. If everybody picks one, we have not picked. So one person has picked dog. Okay. So, one character that we're designing in class today. So dog and rabbit, one vote. Okay, rabbit, two votes. Yeah. Yeah, I think the robot is actually very detailed. He should not be in this selection. All right, bye bye. Sorry, let me replace him. This four, okay. Because I had one of that funny. This one here. Okay, so one vote, one vote, two votes, one vote. Ain't nobody choosing minion, okay? So Jason, you chose minion. Are you sure? You just want choose because right now I have one vote here, two votes here, one vote there. No, Alex picked the dog. Alex picked the dog. Uh, you and Amir picked the bunny. TJ picked the humanoid, the dork. Nobody likes Kelvin. Okay, get out, boy. Down to three. But this guy is still having the highest vote. So I need one more vote to choose. Jason, you are the one left. Humanoid. So it's tied between human boys and rabbit. APC. No. This ain't politicking. So since we have a tie, I'm going to pick So let me see which one will make us finish this class fast.
Wait, no, make it so that whoever picks the dog has.
Yeah, Alex picked the humanoid for his second pick. Yeah.
Okay then. So that
Okay, we're going with a tie because I'm picking the rabbit. So we're going with a tie. So we're going to do two of them, starting with the rabbit. The rabbit will actually be faster to do. The humanoid, I want to teach you how to do the hand. And problem we will have now is he doesn't have a side um, side reference for his hand. So we have to create it in our head. But for the this thing, yes, yes. So we'll do both of them. Let me talk about a few tools that we're going to use and then we're going to get back. So let's check your polygon model shelf. There are two things I want on your shelf that are not there presently. So click on mesh tools. Under mesh tools, do we have, are we on there? Mesh tools. See this option that says insert edge loop, control shift and select it.
okay.
Insert edge loop in mesh tools, control shift and select it. Then the next one is slide edge, second to last one, control shift and select it.
Done.
That's what we need. I need here.
We need to arrange them.
Yeah, just shift them from the green to this side, from the green side to this side. So you can come into your shelf editor, and then they are always going to be the last ones. So just shift them closer. So move them in here. I didn't add my slide edge. Sorry. Okay. All right. Are we ready? Okay, some few pointers to take note of before we start the modeling. That's why I'm showing you what these tools are going to do and how to actually harness your modeling. Now, whenever your object is green line like this, or in your modeling toolkit, you are here, blue highlight. Whatever is highlighted, that's the mode you are in. This is object mode, meaning it's the shape in its default state or in its whole state. Any tool that will work on this object in this mode, we will find it under mesh here in our menu, under mesh, that's working on the object as a whole, like this. All these tools under mesh will work with the object like this. Now, if you go into vertex, edge, or face mode, either by right clicking and switching, or by switching from your modeling toolkit, like this vertex, edge, or face mode, the tools that you would use to work on them, we'll find them under Edit Mesh, the second option here, Edit Mesh. In your modeling toolkit, you find them under Components here.
Why is my square?
Screen is black.
So the square is black.
Oh, I like that shade.
Upgrade.
What? Press B. No, we don't. Oh, okay, okay, sorry. I know why it's that. Yeah, you press. Go back to 5. Press 5. 5. Yeah, you turn. When you turn, if yeah, you will turn off. Turn 7 on. You'll be meeting the.
When the normal one.
All right. Okay, so where we was. Oh, okay, so I said working on vertex, edge, or face mode. The tools we would use will be found under Edit Mesh here in the main menu, or under Components here in the Modeling Toolkit. These options will not work on the object in its normal object mode. Now, if you want to subdivide, probably you didn't do subdivisions while you created the object. You want to now, after you've made a decision, you want to make cuts across the components, that's the edges or the faces. The tools you would use, will find them under Mesh Tools, or under Tools here in your modeling toolkit. Those tools are used to add more divisions manually to your components. You can't use them in object mode. Otherwise, if you try it on object mode, the software will automatically switch the mode back to component mode. So basically, mesh mode is for when the object is in object mode. Edit mesh is to edit the components, that vertices, edges, or faces. Mesh tools are to cut or divide components. So I want to make extra lines. So like one of the tools we added under mesh tools, insert edge loop. Insert edge loop allows us to, when you click on it, select an edge by dragging. If you drag on a vertical edge, it will make a horizontal cut. If you drag on a horizontal edge, you make a vertical cut. So if I want to make a cut across this guy with that tool, I can just click and drag, and I will see it's trying to create a cut wherever I place my mouse. Once I place my mouse, it creates a cut there. If I want to create a cut here, and do the same thing and create a cut. Yeah.
Sorry. It's this.
Insert.
Which sorry, which tool was manual?
Insert edge loop. That one that we just added to the shelf. The one that if you go, if you come to your mesh tools, that just go insert edge loop. You double click on it. You double clicked on it, right? Or you clicked on the box. Okay, so if you click on the box, yeah, it's a good thing because there are ways to use the tool. We have one thing that says um, insert with edge flow. It's usually turned off. So let me show you what that is. If I do insert with edge flow turned off, and I make an edge flow here, watch what happens to this edge. It's still straight, right? Nothing happened. It just created there. But insert with edge flow, right? Do that same cut. So it kind of bulged out, right? So what edge flow does is if I'm adding an edge flow, it's going to re-topologize the objects to make the edges. No, normally I said subdivisions make your objects get rounder. So when you add the subdivisions, the edge flow is now trying to bring out that roundness. So the more edges I create with edge flow, it will be making the thing have that curve shape. So if for any reason we are modeling and you decide to start using a box to model the human head, then you want to create loops with edge flow so that it will get that round section. Otherwise, it will be difficult to use the box. So that's what edge flow is. And then, um, let me turn this guys back. When you create an edge flow, like now if I create one edge flow here, that's just one. In my attribute editor, I have this option to, under split type, poly split ring, split type is relative. If I wanted to make multiple edges at the same time, I'll change this relative to multi, and then I can determine how many edges I wanted to create. Yes, TJ?
Sorry, I'm just trying to add the vision. Oh, so it's the drag from an edge to another.
Yeah.
Then just apply the
For a point, right? Okay, when you're done, just W out of it or Q out of it. Remember, Q is for selection tool, W is for move tool, E is for rotate, R is for scale. So just Q out of it. Okay, that's one part. So let's go into vertex mode. Let me now explain these other tools here. These other popular tools are here: extrude, bevel, and bridge, and the rest.
how do you use this? Like,
The slide edge tool. Select the edge and move it.
what's an edge?
Like now, what's this? If I select this edge now and move it, it's just moving just that edge, not really doing much, especially if the
You select the edge. Oh, we use the move.
mm,
Oh.
so it usually does that. But if I had an edge flow, like that thing that occurred, maybe something like this, and I use my slide edge, what the slide edge does is with your middle mouse button, it adjusts same thing, similar thing to what the move tool does, but it adjusts the edge more accurately just on that surface. It doesn't, you can't pull it out of, like the move tool now. I can pull this edge up or in, right? But with the slide edge, I can't. I just slide that edge over that surface. So we're going to use it a lot when we're modeling, especially when you're modeling on the face. That gimmick guy called face, a cowbell. All right, so let's talk about vertices a little bit. Vertices have um, a vertex represents what? A point in space, right? Good. Yeah. You change it to what? Vertices are a point in space. Now, the difference between a vertex and a dot or a point, or like we use in 2D, was because with a point, I can't do this. I can't go around it. I can't go under it. I can't go behind it. I can't go in front of it. So, but this vertex exists in 3D space. So now, even though I said the tools for components, we find them under edit mesh, right? Not all the tools work with vertices. So from the menus like this, it could be difficult figuring out which tools work with vertices because all of them are just showing. So the easiest way to know which tools work with vertices is using your marking menu. So hold down shift and right click, and then you will see the only tools that work with vertices that are on that list. Take shift and right click when you select the vertex. It will show you the tools that work with vertices while you are editing. So paint selected, multi-cuts, delete vertex, extrude vertex, crease tool, connect components, detach, blah blah blah. So that means all the other tools don't really work on vertices. Like for instance, I cannot bevel a vertex. I cannot add divisions to a vertex. Okay. If you bevel a vertex, you won't get a bevel. Rather, you get 2 or 3 vertices. So like now, see this vertex here. If I click on bevel, it's not beveling. It's just creating more vertices. Because vertex is just a point, so you can't bevel it, right? Bevel works primarily on edges or faces. Okay. Now, if you, I should, bevels only work on edges and faces. They don't work on vertices or vertex on the vertex because you can't bevel a point. A bevel is like creating a chamfer. You can't do that to a point. It's just a point face. So can't bevel that. Now, typically you say extrude. You can extrude uh, bevels. I say bevels. You can extrude vertices, right? Because it came out under the list. But technically, you cannot. What extrude does to a vertex is just push the vertex out. It doesn't create another vertex. So watch this now. If I want to extrude, just like we did with those table, normally it should pull out the table. But extruding a vertex will pull out the vertex and create other vertices around that point there. So it's not really extruding per se, it's rather yeah, pulling out and creating extra. So sometimes when you do things like that, extruding vertices and the rest, We get something that we call in 3D modeling an end gun.
And what?
End gun. End gun, not GUN. That's another that's what you're thinking about.
GO.
GON, not GON. So in 3D modeling, you basically are going to be modeling using triangles or using rectangles or squares. So basically, trigons and quads, right? So a quad is a uh, four-sided shape of face. When you have more than four sides, the computer calls it an n-gon. And if you notice this cube now, it's having some shading points, like some shading error, like some dark black or fading into the gray. And at the same time you see something like that, it means there's an error. Because at this point, the system doesn't know what to call that design. It can't give it a name. So it's just going to look weird to it. So even though yes, you created it, but it's going to look weird. You may say, okay, this is how I want my design to be. All right, but it's still going to be weird. And you have the kind of, if it's a character or something that's going to be animated, you now have the kind of problems we had with GTA, those old versions where somebody's walking and the hand will be twisting like this because the system can't interpret those stuffs. Okay. All right. So, but I can do select all these vertices and maybe I want to create a virus kind of thing and just extrude all of them and create this kind of concept. Hmm? So I create this kind of thing. So I'm probably press 3 so that looks that. So that could be my design. I will want to do that. Okay, but it's not really a smart idea to extrude um what they call them vertices. Okay, so let's step back. Now, when it comes to edges, edges are a little bit more flexible. When it comes to edges, a little bit more flexible. Uh, okay, so well, before I even get there, if I want to delete, let's say I made, this was a mistake. This extrusion was a mistake. I need to delete it. I may not necessarily need to Control Z and restart that. Um, Maya has a way to delete stuff like vertices or edges, but it's not delete you press. Don't press delete. I'm not blocking people. Okay. So if you want to delete, in case you forget the shortcode, this is a component. So that means the tools that work with it will be found under edit mesh, right? So the delete option will be under edit mesh, and we have delete edge or delete vertex. The shortcut is Control Delete. Okay. So if I want to delete all these guys I just created, maybe out of mistakes, so I can just Control Delete that to get that one in there, or let me even leave that one because I want it to push this one in. So I can Control Delete this one probably, or I can Control Delete this one. So wherever you control and delete is actually just deleting the vertices on their own. Right. So I can Control Delete this guy. I can Control Delete this guy. It doesn't matter which edge or which vertex I'm deleting. Whatever I select will be deleted. That's how it works. Okay. So if I want to now get these guys to work, I can now do something like, since I have this, I don't need this one and this one, right? Because this one is probably just an addition. I can actually weld these guys together so that they become one. So we have the tools that edit components. That's in, we edit them like cut through or this thing. So something like a target weld now. I can click a target weld, weld this guy here, weld this guy here, and bring my design back to being normal so that it doesn't have that issue anymore. And I can continue with my design process. So anytime we are modeling and you make a mistake, and you see some edges are not supposed to be or some vertices, control delete is the way to go. Now edges can be beveled, they can be beveled. Edges can be extruded. It will just extrude a very thin edge like that, a flat face. Okay. And all the other stuff. Edges can be bridged as well. Faces can be beveled. It can be beveled. So that's oval face. I wanted to bevel. Faces can be beveled. Faces can be extruded. Faces can be extruded. So typically that. So whenever you are creating any of your objects, yeah, you can do any of those options, right? So let's see how we can bring in these our rabbits that we want to design. Um, in let's look at the reference. You should have these references. This in your the same file. You should have references, Maya references or something. No, that's the folder I gave the that has the HDRI maps and everything. Yes, the instance necessary work. You should just say Maya references. No reference. If there's no references, this okay, that means there's no references. That's serious. Why? That's kind of weird. Jason, no references in yours, right? Oh yeah, I'll go. All right. Okay, no references. Nobody has references. Okay, please quickly come and collect this. Mike, yeah, let me pass it around. Copy it into that same folder. My references. Give TJ first. Mm. Don't worry. I'm sending the folder around. Mm. This guy's name should be Edward or Edwin. Yeah. Now Mega Man said this. So if you are looking to put in references, we check what the object has. It has a front view, a side view, and the back view. Um, the back view is not so important because, well, technically the only thing here is just the bum bum, the what they call it, the tail. So it's just a circle. We just put it in the middle there. So we are going to bring in the front view and the side view. So on in Maya, when you're bringing it in, Mike, pass around. This is the icon you're going to click on. This guy, image plane. That is your viewport menu. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth one. So if it's too tiny for you to pick, you can come under view and select image plane, import image. It's still the same thing. So launch it to locate that same file in your system. Get in front. Graphic interchange format. Get in front. As America. I'll be your idol. Right now. Modern silver, modern gold. What was that? Give me. So put the bunny in your front view through the image plane and put the bunny in your side view as well through the image plane.
So do we just drag it into?
No,
And how do we open?
I think I've been saying that. Listen, let everybody have it. Do we? I mean, have you copied it?
Just making juice.
Bunny.
It's bunny though.
So click on image this icon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth icon. So your front view, computer, or wherever it is stored, locate it, try and locate it. And this is why we keep some things in the same location. So bunny, open. Right, thank you.
So click file, click what?
Yeah,
Click file, click
I didn't click file. Click on the image plane.
image. Fine.
With the fifth icon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will open the dialog box. So locate the from your computer where the file is stored. Or you go under view, then second to last option, image plane. Under view here, second to last option, image plane, import image. Still going to open same thing. Mike is stopping it. So just locate the file wherever it is in your system. Which part? What part again? Which part? How? What happened to it? Why are you on your top view? Me. So you don't know how to come out. Yeah, it will come out as. Why is the entire it's like when I open the control C is what you're saying. Let me see what he's doing. Just in space bar, get out of your top view. Amir, this is why I said you should sit in front. Because I won't be coming back now. But I don't want to be traveling to America. What? Why are you in the perspective view? This thing. You're not supposed to be in perspective view. Mm. Okay. Bunny, 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 bunny. Just click on there. Go back. No. Open your workspace. Click. Don't click on it. Reset your. Yeah, reset it. So, spacebar going. I said the bunny has front view, side view, and a back view, but we don't need a back view. So we basically need front and side. So on your front viewport, put in the image. On your side viewport, put in the image. In those two views. Yes, you put it on the top view. There's no. So you could not come out. Now. So this is your perspective view now. So this is your. This is not your four-way view. I did. Well, I did. Okay, so I see now. You that doesn't not that doesn't remember. You doesn't remember. And there's no how. I'm not worried. Amir, as your own entered, when you're standing like that, it means it hasn't entered. So it hasn't entered. Let me see what you are doing. Yeah, he has refused to move to the front. I really don't understand what you're doing. Remove those earphones from my head because I'm hearing music and I can't be hearing music and hearing what I'm saying. I said, bring in this thing. Where is it? Is it? One, Same thing here. Bring it in here. This is side view. Same. Wow. So the two of them are now here. They are here and they are here, front and side. So wait for the next instruction. Next instruction is simple. Make sure you're on your move tool. That's W. So that you can see your gizmo. Can we see that? Good. Now your front view, click on that image plane again. Click on it. Because this is front view, you want to make sure it is the front that is divided. You can zoom into it to be more consistent. So spacebar to come into your front view. You want to move the image plane so that this dividing origin line cuts this image into two. So you want to move this way. You can use the X marks the spot on the object, yeah, to divide it in your front view. Make sure it's the front that is moving. Okay. Just move and let the thick lines be dividing the image into half. Then you do the same thing on the side view. You go to the side view, select the image plane. This gizmo is not selected on the side view. It's front view selecting. So click on the side view's own so that there's a green mark around it. But I think the side view is even good enough. It's already centralized, or it should already be centralized. But if it wasn't, you have to have moved it again to centralize it. Okay, okay. And we'll run it for you again. So, do we have that? So, are we good? Can we move on? Yeah, that's so sad. Okay, are we done? That shouldn't take time. We're just moving. Yeah, just adjust it in the front view and adjust in this. The side view is okay for this one. So you need to adjust the side view. But come to your uh, perspective view, right? Under show, because I know your card will be showing like this. Will be showing like this. We don't need it here actually. So in that view, the show, in this place under show, uncheck image planes. Good afternoon, darling. Uncheck image planes. Yeah, uncheck it.
And I was wondering if it replacement because they said they want to
Okay, they are just there like, oh, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. At least
but I showed Mr. Kama, he was like, it's too busy. I thought I should ask.
it's actually But they said they want it there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you can do to make it less busy, see as you meet here faint, right? So let two be clear and fade out the others. Mm,
Thank you.
right. Nice work.
Thank you.
Nice work.
Show turn off image planes in that view, in perspective view. Good. So first of all, save what you're doing now. Hmm. So save scene. Make sure it is saving into that thing that we created for now. So save Bonnie and Clyde, Bonnie, whatever. And you can save it there for now. Otherwise, we create a new project. So I think we should create a new project. Okay, don't save. Come to File, New Project Window. This is a different model. Project Window, File, Project Window. Click on New. So current project name. Uh, no, not Mr. Bunny. Just call it modeling. Call this modeling. When you click Control S, you save it as Bunny. So current project modeling location here. Let's leave the location where it is and accept that. So it should create a new folder inside that previous one that we had. So now when you do Control S or save, you can now save it as Bunny. It's going to save into your scenes folder in that new project you created, inside that folder you created. So save as. So well, this is 143. Okay, we're getting to the nitty-gritty part of it. So one last thing I want us to do before we close. Right now, we're just setting up the scene for our job. For this particular modeling, I don't really need to see the top view. The most important views for me is the front, the side, and then the perspective view. So I need to, for now, I don't need to see it. So I need to hide the front top view. So I want to create only 3 views. So I want to create 3 views, 3 custom views. Come on any of the viewports, come under panels. Then after panels, layouts. So we are looking for 3 panes, split left or right, anyone, but split left. You split left, it will create 3 layers. So change this top now. This is side, the bottom is side. So change this top under that same panels, orthographic, change it to front so that your front view comes there. So the reason why we do that is so that we can constructively be modeling and be seeing the finished work over here. Okay. So I want to pause there. I want us to not forget how to import images into our image planes or into our scenes using image planes, which is view, image plane, import image or movie, or the 5th icon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this one, which will still open the same window for you to go and locate the file. So by default, Maya thinks that file is in your modeling and source images. So this is what you will do for me, before you close, or you can do it one time. This project we just created is inside. This is mine. So go to your file explorer, find the project where it is. So mine is here, Maya App Tech, and it's under modeling. It's in modeling. So inside modeling, I want us to open source images. Source images, yes. There's nothing there except 3D paint textures, right?
So I'm guessing we copy bunch of it.
And dump it here. So you can Windows E to open another Windows Explorer so that you can quickly just get that image and drag and drop, copy and paste, or drag and drop anywhere.
Oh yeah, you're on. Okay, you're on Windows 10, so you can't. My File Explorer kind of works like a browser, so I can just open it
Mm,
without having to open a new window.
okay.
It works similarly to the way File Explorer works in Windows 11 is
There
similar to browsers.
Okay.
You can have multiple tabs without having to open multiple windows to find stuff that File Explorer or
All right.
I was wondering why then I saw that it was like
It makes sense that way. So, okay, so from there, just copy the images that you are going to use for this project into this guy. So just like um, we were picking out some images. So let me show the images that we're going to copy out. Basically, wrap up. We're copying the bunny definitely. So select the bunny. Um, hold Control. We are going to pick. I said we will do this lady, right? This lady, this 01. So control and select her. Control and select these robots. All right.
we're almost done.
Control and select that Tundra. And
The one that starts with
8A.
A.
Yeah. Control and select this guy that is 264. Yeah. That's 5 things. Then one last one. Can select this one, download 4.
Download 4.
Mm.
This
Yeah, that kid. And that other guy that wanted to do that humanoid guy. It's a Mario. You want to do Mario?
no.
Okay. Big boys body. Select this guy with pants. F79. Control select him. F79. Yeah. Okay, let's just do those ones. Then copy them and paste them in that source. Paste them here.
So by the end, we should have.
Anytime you're trying to place something in an image plane, as long as you're in that project, it will just open this. Okay. So get these guys copied into just those ones. Any other one that needs to be copied, I will tell you. Copy them from the normal file here. Okay, so that's be that. That sounds like this, right? So we save and we'll see on Monday. Try and do some experiments. You can watch some videos and try and do some stuff.